Mic check 1 2 1 2. Yeehaw. All right, this one truly is better quality, y'all. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to a different head dynamic. ADHD. No, it's not an ADHD podcast, but I do have ADHD. So this acronym works both ways. It stands for what we're doing, but it also stands for what I have. So tune in and get ready. Yeehaw. I'm gonna try this episode without headphones. Normally I would have headphones on, but I feel like I've recorded enough to where I know kind of how I sound. So I'm going to try this out without headphones. Hey, y'all. Happy whatever day of the week it is that you're listening to this. I realize that I've been saying happy Sunday, but y'all may not be listening to this on Sunday. So just like I'm probably not recording this on a Sunday. So, I'm just going to say happy whatever day of the week it is for you. Yeah, I hope y'all had a good week. Hope y'all are having a good weekend, or had a good weekend. And, events stay happening after I release an episode. And I say that because after I released episode 4, also, welcome to episode 5. 5 episodes. Wah, 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 wah. Right after I released episode 4, Biden resigned as president. Literally the day I released episode 4, Biden resigned as president. And, we'll get into that a little bit later. My week has been pretty interesting. I do want to talk a little bit more about Biden and all that a little later. But yeah, he resigned. Microsoft, what the heck happened with all that? I still had to work. I don't know about y'all, but not a thing changed for me. I didn't get the day off. I guess some people got the day off. I know some of the airlines were having a lot of issues with their scheduling and their passengers and flights and stuff. So that was a nightmare. I can only imagine. But my roommate's a flight attendant, so some of her friends were experiencing some of that stuff. I booked a trip to Montana. Super excited for that. Get to see some of my old friends that moved from California to Montana some years ago. I've been doing morning walks more consistently now. I wouldn't call them hot girl walks necessarily, but I have been walking more. I've been trying to do 2 miles in the morning with my dogs. We're having some sort of heat wave over this direction. And, yeah, we've really been feeling it. So I'm trying to take the dogs on a 2-mile walk in the mornings so their paws don't burn. Because when it gets past the 75 mark, even then, it starts to get a little too hot for them on the pavement. So just be careful about that if you're in a hot area. Also, episode 4, I sung quite a bit in episode 4, and that song that I sang at the beginning, the excuse me, we don't have to do it again. You look like you love me. That's not Megan Maroney. I said, love you, Megan Maroney. It's not Megan Maroney. It's Ella Langley with Riley Green. So I don't know why I thought it was Megan Maroney, but I just wanted to correct myself on that. And another thing is I watched Deadpool 3, Deadpool Wolverine. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I mean, that movie is so good, and I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it one bit, but go see it. We watched it last night. Well, right now it's Saturday for me, so we watched it Friday night. Um, Go watch it. It is so freaking good. It's so freaking good. Okay. I kind of want to we'll jump. I keep wanting to talk about the Biden resigning stuff, but I'm trying to keep a structure for y'all. I'm trying to keep it structured for y'all. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm taking up tennis. I play a little bit of pickleball with my friends and my boyfriend, and I learned that last summer. And I really just am feeling like trying to be more into tennis because it's more, I guess, more technically challenging. And I'm by no means a professional at pickleball, but I do want to learn a sport like tennis because I've never tried it. And, I think the Olympics somewhat inspired that. Because we were watching tennis today and I have ADHD, so my impulse was like, let's go buy a tennis racket. But luckily Chris had an extra tennis racket. We just had to go get it restrung. So we're gonna be pickleball and tennis people. But we didn't end up playing tennis today because we got distracted by we went and got it strung at the like the golf or not golf, the tennis and pickleball club place out here. And so we got stuck. We were watching some pickleball games while it was being strung. And then we had to go to Dick's to get tennis balls. And then we ended up shopping a little bit. So by the time I got back, it was like 4:30. We watched a little more Olympics. And then, yeah, we just lost track of time. So that's for another time. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe we'll play some tennis tomorrow. But yeah, y'all let me know if you have any tips for me. I gotta take off that ring. It's hurting my thumb. I really need to just set up an arm that like comes this way. Speaking of, I'm like doing visuals with my arm. So I was about to say, if you're not watching this, I just did a visual with my arm. But the quality this time, third time's a charm, right? I started trying video on episode 3, right? So 3 and 4 were shit quality. 5, I bought a camera. It should at least be 1080 HP. Let's hope for the best. Pretty sure it's going to work. So YouTube should be better quality. I didn't post as many clips from episode 4 as I normally do. I've been so busy this week. Work has been extremely busy. And I've been writing reports and doing all that stuff. So I haven't had as much time to edit videos this week. So I apologize for that for those of you who care about that. So anywho, we'll hold off on the Biden stuff. Let's jump right into some questions. Well, devil's advocate type stuff. Let's just jump right into devil's advocate. This section is, I know I've explained it before, but if you're new here, it's like a devil's advocate type situation where I'm ultimately going to have an opinion, but I'm going to try to see the other side of it as well and come at it from a devil's advocate perspective as well. So I like to take things off Reddit. Sometimes I get write-ins and we'll go from there. So I like to give y'all the story first, give my opinion a little bit, and then I'll give a little bit of the other side and we'll move on through it. If you ever have anything that you want to write in, you just write it on in on Instagram, or you can email me at ADiHDpodcast@gmail.com. ADHD is spelled like it is above my head. ADiHDy podcast@gmail.com. And everything is kept anonymous. So, anywho, here we go. Sorry, I'm not going to start singing again. Okay, no promises, but still. So this says, my colleague took credit for my idea during a meeting. I hate when that happens. It's not happened to me often, but it has happened to me before. And talk about hackles rising up off your back. I recently presented a project idea at work, which I've been developing for months. During a team meeting, a colleague who was aware of my work claimed the idea as their own and received praise for it. I had shared my idea with them in confidence, and they used it to advance their own position. I'm frustrated and hurt, especially since I've always been supportive of them in the past and have helped them with their projects. No one else in the team, they mean to say, no one else on the team seemed aware of the real origin of the idea until I spoke up. How should I address this situation? Should I confront the colleague directly or bring it up with our manager? I want to resolve this professionally, but also ensure that my contributions are recognized. Okay, this is a tough situation, but at the same time, not really, because you should just say something. I, for one, definitely don't be sharing your ideas with someone that you can't trust. I mean, even like your closest friends. Okay, that's going to sound weird. Not your closest friends, but like people you think are your friend at work. You may not know their true character, and a lot of people will do anything to get a one up. And if your idea is a good idea, they're going to try to steal it. And you should only be telling your goals and ideas to people that you can trust, specifically probably outside of work, and kind of you can brainstorm that way. But yeah, I wouldn't be presenting other people at my work with my idea just from fear of this. And this kind of thing has happened to me before. So what I would do in your situation is I would confront the colleague directly and just be like, that's shitty. And if they try to act like they don't know what's going on, or if they're like, oh, like you weren't going to do anything, so blah, 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 whatever they say, if it isn't, I'm sorry, I'll correct it, you need to go to your boss or to HR or whatever you need to do. I would go to your boss, your manager, and be like, hey, that whole thing was my idea. I was planning on presenting it. I confided in this person and they stole my whole idea. So, yeah, I would definitely tell someone. Now, there's not much of a devil's advocate on this side. This is more of just like a question of not really knowing what to do. But on the other side of what I just said, it can be intimidating to confront people, or people aren't as direct, or they don't like, what am I trying to say? Confrontation. They don't like confrontation. And so it can be difficult for someone who doesn't know how to confront or has anxiety around confrontation. So I just say, you know, if you struggle with confrontation, practice with a friend of what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. Make sure it's in a professional manner, and, you know, get that shit back. Get that idea back, especially if it's going to help you in your position at work, you know? Okay, next one. This one's a little heavier. So this says, my secret was accidentally outed to my family, and now I feel like my life is ruined. I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm a fairly normal guy, married and with a baby. I say fairly normal because for a while I've wondered what it's like to wear feminine clothing like dresses, skirts, bras, etc. I'm not trans or anything. I simply like the feeling of it. The only person who knew my secret was my wife until today. She was a little confused by it, but was supportive, saying that people can wear whatever they want, especially if it makes them feel safe. A little bit of background. My wife and her family are extremely liberal. My wife has a trans sibling, and my family is extremely conservative. They think that trans people have a mental illness. I sit somewhere in the middle of those two. My wife has, so it sounds like he's like moderate, even though his family's conservative. My wife has always had a rocky relationship with my family, not really liking them, but trying to be a part of the family for me. Oh, like she's like trying to be a part of the family for you because she doesn't really like your family. Okay. As I said above, I told my wife about wanting to try wearing a skirt or dress or a bra, and she was supportive. And to be honest, I liked it. Everything is soft. The bra felt like a constant hug. I would casually wear it around the house when me and the wife and baby were having a casual day. And sometimes wear leggings and a bra to bed because, like I said, it feels like a constant hug. We wake up early because the baby likes to be up between 6 and 7 a.m. every morning. My wife grabbed the baby this morning and let me sleep in until a little after 7 as the baby was up at 2 a.m. crying and not feeling well at all. I woke up playing with the baby for a few minutes and went to my office to play some of my video games for a bit before starting my day. My wife brought the baby into the room and sat her down next to me and gave her one of the baby controllers, and she took a picture as it was incredibly cute. She sent the picture to my mom as she wanted to show my mom how cute the baby was. In the picture, I was wearing what I fell asleep in, a bra and some sweatpants. I also did not know that the picture was sent as I was busy playing my game and playing with the baby at the same time. My mom started blowing up my phone, asking me why the fuck I was wearing that and why I would do that to my child. She also implied that I was being a pedophile. What? And that I was harming my child. I begged her to forget about it and pretend like nothing ever happened because it meant nothing. She said my dad saw and asked why I would do that to him. This is ridiculous. I told them both that it meant nothing, and if they were going to imply I was hurting my child, we should not need to be in contact anymore. I also said that I was wearing it because it calms the baby down and reminds her of being with her mom. Like those videos you see online of dads putting on bras and wearing the mom's perfume so the baby will be calm for them. I haven't heard anything from either of them since a few hours ago. I know my wife meant well. She did not maliciously do this, and she has not stopped crying and apologizing. I'm not mad at her. I'm mad at the situation. And the fact that she could not stop and double check the photo to make sure that the top half of me couldn't be seen. I need advice. I don't know how to move forward. I've already been so incredibly depressed since April. I got let go from my job of 3 years and I have been desperately looking for work, but haven't been able to find anything. I don't know what to do. I have no job. We are living off one income and I cannot provide for my wife and child. My awesome relationship with my family is now ruined and they think I'm a pedo. I really don't know what to do now. Okay. As a person who absolutely does not, I don't want to say hates, but hates pedophiles. I do not think you're a pedophile. That's not pedophilia by wearing a bra and sweatpants. So your parents are absolutely overreacting. I get that it's shocking to them, but at the same time, like it's almost funny. Like the fact that that was their initial reaction, like I would have thought that they would have been like, haha, why does he have a bra on? That's so funny. And then you could have been like, it makes the baby feel safe because it reminds her of her mom or whatever. But the fact that their reaction was so outlandish when you're literally just sitting playing video games and your daughter is sitting next to you playing with her toy, like, I'm confused. I don't know why that reaction came from your parents so aggressively. Now, I would say that you might also be internalizing in your head, like overreacting in your head of thinking your life is over because there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. If your wife is supportive and it's not affecting your relationship, then I don't think you're doing anything wrong. People can have their opinions, cool, but it shouldn't matter if you're not doing anything to harm people. And I don't understand their absurd reaction. So I think in your head, you're kind of thinking, oh, I do this because it makes me feel safe and I love it. But what you told your parents is that it helps your baby calm down. And that's how you should see it. Like the fact that they're still overreacting and that's what you told them, they're the problem. Does that make sense? Regardless, though, if you were like, oh, it just makes me feel safe. I like that it's hugging me. I don't know. I just don't see anything wrong with that. If your significant other is okay with that. Me personally, and here's devil's advocate, kind of, just from another perspective, is I don't see that wrong for your situation. I would not personally be okay with my partner doing that because that's not something that would make me feel okay, if that makes sense. And would I shame them for it? No. Would I yell at them? Would I shame them? No. But I would be like, hey, if this is something that makes you feel good and makes you feel safe, then maybe we should reconsider our relationship, and just because I want you to be able to do the things that you want to do and makes you feel safe, also while having my desires met as well. So, it's to each their own. If someone that you care about comes out like that about just wanting to wear the opposite sex clothes, which I mean, women do it all the time. I wear my boyfriend's clothes all the time. I guess if you're a man wanting to wear woman's clothes and it makes you feel safe, if your partner is okay with that, then bada bing, bada boom, And I feel bad because I have an old friend that also is like this, likes to wear women's clothes, but is a straight male. And I feel lucky to have been someone that he felt comfortable confiding in and being able to talk to him in the early stages of that, and never, no shame, nothing. And I would be friends with someone like that. I am friends with someone like that. But me personally, I wouldn't be in a relationship with someone like that. But if you have a partner that's okay with that, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just people have their preferences. Just like one person prefers someone with hair and the other person prefers someone who's clean shaven. It's kind of like that. Everyone has their preferences. So it's just, if that's your preference and you have someone who's okay with that preference, I don't understand what the big deal is. So the fact that your parents heard it as, oh, this is something that makes the baby feel safe, and they're calling you a pedophile, can we just please get out of here? Like, what? That's crazy. And I can't see another side of why the parents would call you a pedophile for that. I can see why the parents are upset and shocked, but I don't understand the name calling. That's very extreme. So hopefully they come down from planet dramatic and can see that it's not a big deal. Okay. Moving on. Okay, so here's one. It's kind of like it's the am I the asshole type. So, am I the asshole for criticizing my partner's gift giving? I, 28-year-old female, have been dating my partner, 34-year-old male, for a little over a year. I have a birthday coming up and he asked me what I wanted. I told him I'd rather not just tell him something to get me, but have him pick something from the heart, so to speak. I told him that to me, gift giving is more about thoughtfulness around the person you're giving to. He was frustrated by that and said that I was high maintenance when it came to getting gifts, and cited that I thought it was crass when he gave me a vibrator for Christmas. By comparison, I had given him an ancestry DNA kit after he had seemingly really been excited when I showed him my ancestry results one day. Am I the asshole for calling his Christmas gift crass and not wanting to tell him what to get me as a birthday gift? Okay. So, I understand not wanting to tell people what you want and wanting them to get you something meaningful. However, some people's love languages isn't gift giving and they need the help. So even if it's maybe if you guided him to asking a family member or a best friend what you might like so that you don't have to be telling him, maybe do that, because wanting him to kind of read your mind if he's not good at it is a little unfair. And if that's a deal breaker, then that's up to you. But you can't criticize someone for just wanting to know what to get you. So from your perspective, yes, if you didn't want a vibrator, if you want gifts that are more thoughtful, that is a bit inappropriate. Especially I see where you're coming from, that you were listening to him and he was excited about ancestry, the ancestry DNA kit. And so you listened to that and therefore you thought of a good gift for him because you were listening. I am a gift giver like that too. I hear what people want. I hear people talking and I'll start writing down ideas. I do it all year. I have people's names. And as I'm listening or as I know situations that they're going through, I will cater a gift to that person. I'm a great gift giver. Let me just say it right now. I think I'm a great gift giver. So that for me has also been an issue where I have had people who aren't thoughtful gift givers and they just kind of get me something for the sake of getting a gift or for the sake of, I don't know. It's like they're not listening. And I've had to really get past the expecting people to listen and pay attention in the way that I do. It's kind of a compromise of maybe you talk more about what you want without directly saying it to him and see if he listens. Because maybe you're just not talking about anything at all. And it's like hard to gauge what you want. On his side, okay, he can't read your mind. I already said that. So I had to kind of settle on this with my partner. He likes to know what I want. He wants a list. And so, but he doesn't want to give me a list. And so we had to compromise of like, okay, well, if I'm giving you a list, you have to give me a list, even though I know 3 to 5 things I'm going to get you. I just want to make sure I'm on the right track. If I'm going to give you a list, then you also have to give me a list. And so we settled for that. He gave me a list. I gave him a list. And lo and behold, 3 of the things that he wanted was stuff that I got. And another thing that he didn't know that he was getting that I knew he wanted. So it's just compromising, figuring out a way that it can still be thoughtful. Give them multiple ideas. So that's what I do. I'll make a big list so that people can pick and choose. And I don't know what a person is specifically getting me. And then that makes it thoughtful that they were able to. I thought I saw something, but it's fine. So just compromise. If you love him, compromise. He's trying. And I think trying to see the best in him and compromising on that because he does want to get you something. It's just maybe he's not a gift giver. And like, what other love languages is he good at? If he's not giving you anything, if he's not loving you in other ways as well, then maybe you should second guess the relationship, you know? So y'all let me know what you think on that one. Because they voted this one as her being the asshole, but I don't really think anyone's the asshole in that situation. I think it's just seeing different sides. That's going to be it for the devil's advocate. No, actually, I'm going to do one more. And this is kind of controversial because this is like the masculine, feminine, gender roles type of thing. So it says, so my boyfriend makes me feel very masculine. Is there anything I can do to change that? Hi, I'm having self-esteem and insecurity problems in my 5-year relationship. I've come to notice I feel like the man in the relationship with my boyfriend. Even my sister said in passing, I clearly wear the pants in the relationship, and I hate that. Yes, I know gender roles are so 1950s. I'm not trying to be a stay-at-home mom with a construction worker husband who drinks beers and watches football every night. I just simply wish to feel more feminine, I guess. Maybe it's a problem that I attach specific house roles to gender. I'm the one who's constantly having to plan dates, do all the handiwork around the house, fix our cars, etc. I've communicated these wishes, and the response is that I should be doing these things because I know how to do it and I'm better at it. I understand it's great I can change a spark plug and fix my AC myself, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, these more handy things are chores I grew up watching my dad do while my mom cooked and cleaned. Am I too traditional? Is it a cultural difference? I just really want to feel more feminine in our relationship. I think I like the thought of being taken care of and having a strong man fix my AC, as insane as that may sound. Please help me figure out what's wrong with me and if there's anything I can do to change. Okay, I don't like that you're coming at it as what's wrong with me and is there anything I can do to change? Because there's nothing wrong with you. I often also feel masculine in my relationships. In this one that I'm in now, I still do from time to time, but it's not to the extent of how it used to be. And a lot of it is my own doing. And I'll explain. So it's just like I'm too quick to the punch. I don't know. 1 second. I'll get back to that. So this goes back to like everyone has their preferences. There's nothing wrong with you for wanting that traditional type of gender role relationship. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, do you love your partner enough to sacrifice that? Because if he is not willing to step up and genuinely thinks like, oh, you should just do this because you're better at it, and he's not listening to the fact of like, I want to feel more feminine, then maybe consider another relationship. But if he's willing to be like, okay, well, maybe we can find things I can do that you don't have to do so you feel more taken care of. And, you know, I guess I would wonder if he cooked more or if he did more acts of service for you that weren't necessarily the manly role, but was just helping out. I wonder if you would feel more taken care of. Taken care of. Y'all know what I mean. It sounds weird coming off my tongue, but like I think that's right. But yeah, I just think that the first thing is reconsider the relationship if he's not open to trying to find ways to help you feel more feminine from his actions. He should be able to plan dates. That is something that he should be like, oh, okay, like I can take that responsibility. I'll plan the dates since you do XYZ to help you as my partner feel more feminine in this relationship. You know what I mean? Like there's got to be some sort of compromise. And if he's not willing at all to compromise in anything, then I would consider a different relationship maybe, because you want to feel fulfilled. And so when I was talking about where I'm coming from, I am very type A and I'm handy and, you know, independent and want to do things on my own. And so releasing control and letting someone else do something is hard for me. And it's been really hard in the relationship that I'm in right now because he is also handy and can do things. And so I have a hard time with critiquing or not releasing the control and just being like, oh, just let me do it. And part of it is like, I think my way is always more efficient because I'm an efficient person. but it may not always be the case. I'm just assuming that my way is more efficient because I've done it that way before, and I don't release the control to allow him to do it his way to even see if that is a better way or if that is more efficient. And I'll get argumentative, and that's not allowing for me to be feminine. Like, he has the drive to want to do these things for me, but if it's not right now, and if it's not in the way that I'm used to, and if it's not, like, there's different things where it's really hard for me to release control of. And I think that can be a big part of the more type A girls or masculine girls. It's harder to release control because you're so used to doing it on your own. And it's like, you have to release control to feel that feminine energy, to allow them to do the thing. Now, it's different if they're never doing the thing. If they don't have the desire, if they're like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, and then 2 weeks later it's not done, that's totally different. That's annoying. And so, of course, we're going to do it on our own. I'm more than likely going to do it myself within a day. And that's after working on myself. Usually it's like, if it's not done within the hour, I'm doing it, because I also have ADHD. And with ADHD, which you guys know that, but with ADHD, it's right now or never in my head. So if something's on my mind, I need to do it right now or it's never going to happen. Or so that's how it feels. And so that's a big part of it too, is I get an emotional reaction, and not in like an emotion cry way, like anxious or like aggravated, because I'm like, if it's not done now, it's never going to be done. But that's not always true. So it's kind of trying to look at it from a different perspective in that sense. But so I guess with this, I don't think you're wrong for wanting those gender roles in your relationship. That's totally fine if that's your preference. My only issue is with people who try to push that on other people. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. So if you want that for yourself, that's fine. But don't push that on other people. I have friends, and they have a podcast also. Go check them out. Real Talk with the Rochers. So he stays at home, and he is the stay-at-home dad. She also works from home, but she is the breadwinner, and he is the full-time parent during those hours. And that's their dynamic, and it works. And he's a great dad, and she's a great mom. And they just released their last episode was, the newest episode, I don't know what the title's going to be, but the last episode is about the roles. And it's actually really good. Go give it a listen. But yeah, so it's just some people's switched roles work. And it's not even the fact that we're having to say it's a switched role shouldn't matter. But like the fact that you want the traditional role also is fine, so just to each their own. And those of you who don't agree with someone else's preferences, be curious, genuinely, not judgingly. Like, if you're going to ask a question of, well, why doesn't, okay, here we go. So when you're talking to your boyfriend about the gender roles, and you're like, I would like you to do these things, I would address it in a way of, make sure you're bringing the emotion to the table of vulnerability, of this is how I want to feel and this is what I want out of a relationship. So what can we do to make this happen together? And then that allows him to kind of step up a little bit more, as opposed to, and I don't know if you're doing this, but as opposed to arguing or snipping, or like, I always have to do these and I always have to do that, and I just wish that I felt this way more, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, when you come from a vulnerable place, a calm place, which isn't always easy, they're more open to conversation. So yeah, I'm going to move on from that one, because I could go on and on all day about that one. And I'm actively working on it. Okay. So I'm adding a little, there's a little ADHD segment, because it's called ADHD, I wanted to add in here. And it's just questions basically being asked from a person who has ADHD. And this first one says, and this kind of goes with the last one a little bit, even though I don't know what their tone is like. But I know I have a habit, not a habit, but I am, with ADHD, I am more reactive. My nervous system doesn't process emotions like everyone else. And so sometimes I'm quicker to react, and then I have to come back from it. And I'm so lucky that I have a partner who is patient and kind of knows that about me. And so he's really good at waiting for that to pass and then us being able to talk. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like my anxiety builds and I get so irritated and anxious, and I'm just like snippy, and and he's so good at just like waiting and being like, okay, well, I don't know how he does it. Anyway, if I could think of an example, I would let you know. But so this question says, how do you control your tone of voice and remain calm when you are anxious? My boyfriend calls it passionate, that I get passionate about things, which I love that term. So it says, when I'm in a disagreement, I really have a hard time controlling my tone of voice. Sometimes a certain topic really triggers me or gives me a rush of anxiety, and what I'm saying can come out really sharp or rude to the person I'm talking to. Most of the time, I don't even realize when the anxiety has built up to that point, and it all just comes rushing out. For me, one of the hardest things can be when the other person is talking and I've already thought of what I wanted to say. I have to bite my tongue until they finish, but in the meantime, my thoughts have become so pressing in my head. The need to speak is so urgent. I have to control myself, but it's hard. I know I should be listening instead, but how do you do that when your response has already occurred? This is so relatable. When your response has already occurred to you and it remains relevant the whole time they are speaking. I'm in need of some help. I keep creating situations where a conversation escalates into a disagreement because I can't control my tongue when the anxiety takes over. Any advice? This is such an ADHD thing of knowing exactly where the person is going with the sentence, and you just want to start speaking because you already know, and they think you don't know. They think you don't know where you're going with it or where they're going with it. And you sit there and listen and you're like, yep, okay, I knew that. Let me respond now. But we also will tell the longest version of something, assuming people don't know. But maybe they do, So we are definitely hypocrites when it comes to that. So controlling your tone of voice, if it's with people that are close to you, have a conversation about having ADHD and letting them know that you are aware of it and that you apologize if you ever interrupt them, that it is just this anxious feeling that builds up in you and you're trying your best to let them finish, but a lot of the time you do know where they're going with it and it's hard. So yeah, I understand, because then what you want to say. So if you're listening and you're neurotypical, you don't have neurodivergent, you're not ADHD, you don't have autism, nothing, none of that stuff. I guess what I want to say is, if you have a friend who's constantly interrupting you or has emotional outbursts or has a bigger reaction to something than you would have expected, they probably have ADHD and they don't mean it. So I think having friends and people who care about you that are understanding about the intensity that comes from it, like how Chris calls it passion. And I was able to explain to him why it comes off that way, was so incredibly helpful to our relationship. And he was able to stop taking it personally that I have reactions that way. And that the way I speak sometimes in not even arguments. Sometimes things that we're talking about, I will sound like I'm arguing, but I'm just so in it. I'm passionate. That's how it sounds. And if you change that trajectory, instead of sounding aggressive, you're passionate about what you're saying, it helps a little bit, but it is really frustrating for the other person to be interrupted just because we do know where it's going. So I would say just keep trying to listen and keep trying to assume, instead of assuming you know where they're going, try to assume that you don't. But that is a tough one, and I hope you keep working on that. As far as the tone of voice, just try to explain to people that you don't mean it to be harsh. Just apologize afterwards. I don't mean that to sound harsh. I just feel really strongly about that, and I'm not trying to argue. Just kind of try to preface it. But that's all I could say. Let's see if there's any advice from someone. Oh, this person says maybe write things down in the moment while they're talking. That's kind of hard because people like to be looked in the eyeballs. But if you're close with them and you're like, I'm just going to take notes while you're talking. My favorite app ever is Marco Polo, because then I'm not doing the communicating in real time and I can take notes while my friends are talking. And then I'm not interrupting them at all. Even though when they're talking, sometimes I'm like saying things while they're talking, you know, but I'm able to take the notes. So maybe download Marco Polo and only have your conversations with people through Marco Polo. I'm just kidding. Okay. And then the next one, this one's kind of funny. This is also ADHD related. So this says, can you tell me the times you spent extra money to accommodate your specific ADHD needs that may seem ridiculous to someone else, but you totally do not regret? I'll go first. I have 3 computer chargers, one that stays plugged in at work, one that stays plugged in at my house, and one that stays in my backpack. In an honorable mention, I bought a not ugly basket to keep beside my couch in my living room so I can put my shoes right in there when I take them off while watching TV. This was in response to my continually neglecting to take them to my closet in my room when I take them off, resulting in shoes always being scattered around the living room. I love this one. So they say computer chargers. I have 3 phone chargers. 1 for my work phone. 2 for my work phone and 2 for my personal phone. And then I will have 1 at my desk. I have 1 next to my bed. And then I have 1 that comes with me. And then I have 1 that's next to the other side of the bed that's for a regular iPhone, because I have an iPhone 15 and that's the USB-C. So I feel you on the chargers. They're everywhere. I'm the same way with chapsticks. I have a chapstick in my fanny pack. I have a chapstick next to my bed. I have a chapstick in my car. I just want to see. This person says they have 3 pairs of glasses. Let's see. Now they're just talking about cleaning. They're talking about the shoes. I'm relatively clean for a person with ADHD. I used to be the person who was cluttered, and I still am in areas. Like my closet is cluttered, is more cluttered than it should be. But for someone with ADHD, it looks pretty nice. But I have systems in place now. So I'm making my bed every day, because if I don't, it'll stay like that for God knows how long. And then I try, every time I take my shoes off, they're either right next to the door, there's this place for them, or I'll take them to my closet. My desk will get cluttered. I'll have to clean that ever so often. My bathroom countertop will get cluttered. I'll have to clean that. I'll have to organize that every now and then. So I understand the clutter. I've just somehow figured out how to be cluttered in moderation and how to quickly get out of it. Laundry is still my biggest feat. It's still a big one. So, okay. Let's move on. Let's move on to some Sunday scary stories. Scary stories. Okay. If you can't see me, sorry. Let me fix my hat. Oh, I got this hat today. It's new. It says Newport Beach upside down and backwards, and then it says California underneath it. I just think it's so cute. I think it's so cute. I think this and my Theo Vaughn hat are my favorite hats so far. And they both have red in them. So I think red is my color this summer. As my nails are red. I need to get my nails redone. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. So let's move on to the Sunday Scaries. So this happened last night, and I'm still feeling pretty stupid about it. I was half asleep, scrolling through my phone while lying down. You know, the usual bedtime routine. Just one more look at TikTok before drifting off. Well, that was a mistake. I lost grip on the phone, and it fell directly onto my face. Specifically, it landed right on my teeth. Oh, my Lord. The impact was enough to chip my right front tooth. Now I've lost a quarter of it, and let me tell you, it does not look pretty. Now, instead of having a relaxing morning, I'm booking an emergency appointment with my dentist. So let this be a warning to all of the night owls out there. Be careful with your phone in bed. You never know when a moment of carelessness can lead to a costly and painful dental mishap. That sucks. We've all done it. Don't say you've not done it. We've all smacked ourselves in the faces with our phones. And sometimes it may not even be at night before you're going to bed. You just have it, you know, like the way you like hold it like this, you know, and then it just drops through your fingers because you held it the wrong way. This guy said, thanks. Now I'll have an irrational fear of my teeth getting damaged while using my phone laying down. Were you using a Nokia? What? I mean, I guess because Nokias were freaking big. Okay, let's see. Oh, this one. Oh, someone sent me this one, and it is rough. Okay. So I run these workshops for pregnant women all about tips, nutrition, the works. Today's workshop was going great, and towards the end, a CEO showed up. Naturally, I wanted to network and maybe get some future collabs going. We chatted for a bit, and I was super nervous. I'm having trouble speaking today, y'all. Let me restart that. We chatted for a bit, and I was super nervous. As we talked, I noticed her belly was a bit rounded, and I just assumed she was pregnant. So trying to be all friendly and inclusive, I said, we'd love to have you to join our next workshop for your baby. That moment of silence, if you're not watching, was my face. Oh my, you never, ever assume someone's pregnant. Ever. She gave me this awkward smile and replied, thank you, but I'm not pregnant. Cue instant regret. Cue body issues. Cue body dysmorphia. Cue, oh, this poor woman. I mean, also poor you, because that is a cringy moment. Okay. Cue instant regret. There was this painfully awkward silence, and I tried to change the topic, but it was too late. I walked away feeling like I'd just blown a huge chance. Yeah. Was she the CEO of your company? Is that what the issue is here? It is. Oh, the first comment says, yeah, it is quite a fuck up. Yeah, just apologize. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm nervous. Like, you don't even look pregnant. I just assumed because you came that you might be. Oh my gosh. It's hard to save that, you know? That's cringe. I'm so sorry. But thank you for that, because you made someone else feel better about their Sunday Scaries. So that's nice. Okay, guys. Let's get into the last segment. Well, the segment before the fire safety tip, because y'all know I gotta leave you with that fire safety tip. Conspiracy theories. You mean to say you don't believe in any conspiracy theories? Not one? All right. So the first one is ancient civilizations had more technology than us. And I gotta say, I agree with this one. Because how do you explain pyramids? How do you explain the seven wonders? How do you explain, we can just end at the pyramids. How do you explain that? And how do you explain things like lining up with the cosmos? Like there's stars that line up perfectly with the pyramids on certain days or whatever. Look into it, y'all. Do some deep dives. Get down the rabbit hole. Get deep down in that rabbit hole. Look it up. Look up the conspiracy theory about the ancient civilizations having more developed technology and then it ended up going away. Something caused something to happen to where we have to rebuild and now we're getting back up to a point. You know? Check that one out. Y'all let me know what you think about that one. Ancient civilizations. Because I believe it. All right. We're back to the Biden stuff. How many of y'all think Biden's dead? How many of y'all, why haven't we seen that man? Where is he? Why did he resign via PDF document? Like, my fear is they have ran this man so much that, and I was joking about his tweet of I'm sick, but now I'm concerned of like, they've ran this man so ragged and he should have been retired a while ago. And it's like, did he die? There's people saying he's in hospice. There's people saying he's dead. We haven't seen him. And then I'm starting to see clips of us potentially seeing him. I'm not sure if they're valid or not. But then there's also people saying that that's not him. And they're doing like comparisons of like, this is what Joe Biden looks like. This is what this Joe Biden looks like. They don't look alike. And there's lots of conspiracies about it. And I need to know what y'all think. Is he dead? Do y'all think he's dead? Because if that's the case, though, if he was dead, then wouldn't Kamala be president right now? And are they avoiding telling us because would Kamala still be able to run as president if she became president now, if he is dead? Like, I just don't understand why they would be hiding the fact that Biden's dead if he was dead. So let me know what you think about that. And let me know. I mean, I can do my own research, I guess. I'll research it. Because that's the only reason I could think they would be lying to us about it. Or they feel bad because they're the reason that he's been run ragged. They didn't let that man rest when he needed to start resting. I feel so bad for him. I didn't vote for him, but I do feel real bad for him. You know? So, yeah. Let me know what you think. And also, I also want to know if you're a Democrat or if you're more left or if you're a Democrat, like if you voted Democrat in the primary, are you not mad? Are you not mad at the fact that they just chose your candidate for you? Because that's not how democracy works. I don't know if y'all are aware of that. I'm sure you all are. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying a lot of y'all are just taking Kamala because they said it's Kamala. But aren't y'all mad that y'all didn't get to vote? Why is nobody talking about the fact that they literally just took away a president, had him resign, even though they've been campaigning this entire time with Biden? He resigns, and then just all those votes don't matter, and they don't get to choose. They don't have a choice. The Democratic Party just chose your person for you. You didn't vote for Kamala. You voted for Joe Biden in the primary. So it's like, or maybe you didn't. But either way, it's like, I think they should have had another primary election, had a few candidates, and did it again. Are y'all not mad about that? I'm just confused. Like, if Donald Trump resigned and they told me that his vice president was going to be running, I'd be like, hold the phone. Hold the daggone phone. I didn't vote for his vice president. I voted for Trump as president and then his vice president to take over as president if Trump dies. Biden is not dead. So they say. But either way, like, that doesn't put her on the seat as the November candidate. You know what I mean? So I would want to vote. Like, I would want them to give me a few people to vote in the primary and then vote. You know what I mean? I want Robert Kennedy Jr. I want Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He could just take the Democratic spot. Or, you know, if we wanted to try again, you know, I'm just worried. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm just worried. I just think that if we could just all come together. But, okay, there are rumors, and let me know if y'all have heard this. There's rumors that RFK, there's some sort of like scandalous voicemail going on that apparently he's in cahoots with Trump or something, which that doesn't, I'm more right than I am left, but I don't like secrecy and I don't like, and that's politics. So maybe I just don't like politics, but I've heard that apparently he's under the radar, been in cahoots with Trump saying like, oh, if I win, you've got a seat at my table or whatever. But I think publicly he's saying he doesn't support Trump. So I don't like that. I don't like that it's, you know, back and forth, almost two-faced-ish. I wouldn't have a problem with it if he was publicly like, yeah, if I win, I like some of the stuff that Trump stands for. Not all of it, but some of it. And sure, I'd have him on my table or whatever the frick it is. If it was straightforward, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But if there's some sneakiness going on, that just makes me sad. Makes me not want to vote for anyone. But I'm going to vote. But I'm going to vote. So, y'all get out there and vote. Regardless who you're voting for, get out there and vote. Because that's our right that they took away from you as a Democrat. So, they took that right from you. And that makes me angry for you. I don't know why more people aren't mad. I don't know why people aren't more mad about that. But, not my party, not my problem, I guess. All right, well, and then with that little nice conspiracy theory, thank you guys. There was such a response to the maps conspiracy theory. I'm glad I'm not alone in thinking that. So, glad y'all liked that one. I don't have any just like random conspiracy theories that I've thought of off the top of my head, but when I do, best believe I'll let you know. But my fire safety tip. Let me think about the fires that I've had this week. I've had quite a bit of arsons lately. So let me just give you this little tidbit of advice. Don't stay in toxic relationships. If there's a toxic relationship, don't stay in it. And it wasn't this week, but I had an arson where it was a toxic ex who kept threatening that they were going to burn down the apartment. The woman didn't believe him and kept just doing this like back and forth in and out of relationship with him. And lo and behold, after I don't know how many breakups there were, I didn't get that specific, but he came and he kicked in that door and he burned that place down. Crazy exes are capable of anything. And if you don't think it's going to happen to you, it can. If they're freaking crazy, if you're miserable if you're unhappy, everybody out there, anyone listening, all y'all, you deserve to be in a stress-free relationship. There's a difference between communicating and compromising and constant stress and conflict. And I didn't learn that until my later 20s. And I just need y'all to know that it's not love if it's constant tears and if it's constant fight. That's not love. You're not fighting for love. That's not how that works. Fighting for love is having a civilized conversation with each other about something that hurt one's feelings while the other one hears them out, and then they come to a compromise of how to fix that and it not happen again. And I'm so grateful to finally experience that because I have been in one too many toxic relationships. And so, yeah, don't stay in your toxic relationships because they could result in arson. And that's what I'm going to leave you with. Oh, man. So thank you guys for listening. That concludes episode 5. I'm so excited to be doing this still. If you can hit the follow button, subscribe on YouTube. I've gotten more subscribers. Thank you all who are subscribing. You are watching. Leave some comments. Like the videos. The more you interact, the better it is for me. So thank you. Share this with a friend that you think might think it's entertaining and people who need a little laugh in their week. I release a new episode every Sunday, but regardless of what day you're listening to this, I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great night. I hope you have a great week. Slay the day, y'all. I don't want to say that. I don't want that to be. Oh, I have a tattoo. Should I give like a weekly quote? Maybe not, but this week I'm going to say, because my tattoo says it, the broken are the more evolved. So if you're going through some shit and you feel like you're getting broken down, the broken are the more evolved. You can come up from it and become a greater person than you ever thought possible. And I just want y'all to know that. I'll have to tell you guys a little bit more about my past and my background, so y'all really know how possible it is to just get out of the trenches, y'all. Y'all can get out of the trailer park. And if you don't want to get out of the trailer park, don't get out of the trailer park. But you can do better for yourself, even in the trailer park. So, all right. So I'm going to stop blabbering. But before I go, remember to check out my website, ADiHDy.com. It's ADiHDy.com. I have some journals, some PDF downloads to help you, do your to-dos, get through your to-do list, get out of burnout, do a self-care journey, Go check them out, share it with a friend. Help me help you, I just want to share it with people because it helps me, and I want to help people who have a different head dynamic like me. And that's why it's called a Different Head Dynamic podcast. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for the support so far. And I love you. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye.